There's nothing toxic about masculinity. Only weak men are toxic. The men who are abusers, the men who are not protectors, those who actually go out of their way to do harm, those are the ones who are toxic in a sense. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has said already that the most masculine thing you can do is to protect and respect a woman mentally, physically, and spiritually.
Ironic symbol. Hey, who y'all is? Who y'all is again? Personally, I hate to hear people.
Yeah, man, toxic masculinity. Most cases, I've heard it in school settings or a few work environments, some peer groups here and there, but a lot of times, social media, of course. At my school too, and I know that's a perspective, but PWIs, I can see them having that a lot. PWIs have done a great job of skewing great leaders in the past. But toxic masculinity, why the phrase itself is so toxic. We need to understand what masculinity is first and foremost, because it does not have the characteristic of being toxic. Yeah, and this is not DesoX speaking. This is the perspective of those who have learned from a divine teaching in multiple different perspectives. But masculinity is those top soldiers who accept the call and will shoulder the burden of doing for their family and standing on their principle. If they believe that is a righteous principle, they're going to stand on it regardless of what's going on outside and say, look, man, I can't be moved off my square. A real man going die on this principle. You either die for something or you either live for something or you'll die for anything. But masculinity, we've needed a soldier in our family for so long, for generations. A lot of people in the families, we've gone generations without seeing one of those people who upheld principles that they were just, look, I can't be moved either way. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, when the slave masters were trying to trick us out any kind of way, they would have kunta kintes. They would have stood up and said, look, man, y'all gonna have to kill me because I'm not about to let this happen. Didn't y'all love seeing Django when he was over there defending his wife, or even those other sisters? He grabbed that whip and he started that boy because he kept, you know what I'm saying? I can't remember what the wife's name was, but it was something German. It's probably gonna come to me in a second. Broomhilde. I'm probably not saying it right, but he defended his wife and he made sure, like, look, like I'm gonna risk it all to get us up out of here. Period. Point blank. It's scary, it's hard, it looked tough, and I may not even live through it, but I'm gonna put this on my back and say, I got this. I'm gonna shoulder that. Yeah, but that's what a top soldier is. We've needed that for generations. You know what I'm saying? Not to be passive aggressive and say, all right, I'm gonna accept the way things are, and I'm gonna just, hey, turn the other cheek. Nope. If it comes to me, if an oppression comes to me, and not just in the sense of violence, but if an oppression comes to me, I'm a Denmark Vesey, Gabriel Prosser, Nat Turner, and overthrow that oppression. But not just in the sense of violence and repercussions, but in a sense of being proactive. How are you proactively, being a protector, a provider, being a man and a soldier, right? You're not being passive aggressive. You're tired, but you still need to make sure you've taught your child something. I'm gonna teach my nephew, my son something like, all right, it's only 24 hours in this day. So I got for the rest of such and such time to teach him something. All right. I can teach you something today. You the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe, father of civilization. What does that mean? I'm not about to let you just sit there and be in front of the TV. We got to learn something. We got to get ahead of the curve. Let's go. I can't just be accepting the way things are. Oh, hell, inflation's up. Oh, hell, gas prices is up. Man, I should just sit on a couch. I should just point my energy towards somewhere where it's not, going to come back and help me solve my problems. I should run from it. That ain't masculinity. But thinking that you should embrace it and fight it, that's masculinity, you know? But toxic masculinity is not something that exists. Okay, there's nothing toxic about masculinity. Only weak men are toxic. The men who are abusers, the men who are not protectors, those who actually go out of their way to do harm, those are the ones who are toxic in a sense. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has said already that the most masculine thing you can do is to protect and respect a woman mentally, physically, and spiritually. But the women, women will have these bother free peer groups to where they can focus on divine femininity and protecting their sacred womanhood, which rightfully so they should. That rhyme. But rightfully so they should, and they should have all these groups and different peer cultures together where they can do so. But in the reverse, you get a group of men or a group of brothers around, and you say, "Look, like let's get into this divine brotherhood, this divine masculinity, and talk about, what can we do, what we've been doing that's working, how we can come together and strengthen each other out. You know, let's build. You get somebody, just that one, those few, every now and then it'll be, hey, you better be careful, boy. You better be careful because you take pride in your masculinity too much, and it's gonna start to be toxic. You can't have too much of it. But even if you want to go off of that narrative, um, wouldn't that be why we were made to come together? Balance, feminine, masculine. That's what God put us here for. God took from His rib to make a woman. Now you don't have to look at that in the physical aspect, but you can look at that as the spiritual aspect. I need this woman for my divine feminine essence protection. I mean, I need her for her divine feminine essence and my spirit's protection. And she needs me for my masculinity and to protect her. We balance each other out. This whole toxic masculinity thing is toxic in itself. It's starting to put a negative slant on the whole gender.
What's ironic